So this is my shot of just down here. I don't know how well you can see it. There's a little bridge just down here behind me, just down this path. And I want to photograph that. But obviously, depending on where you stand, I could stand right up close to the bridge. I've just walked across it to see if I could find a composition from the opposite side, but it didn't really work. But the point is that you can get really, really close to this bridge, or you can stand quite a distance away from it. And where I'm standing now will be a great option for explaining to you how focal distances and different lens choices will work with this particular shot. Don't know how well you'll notice, but there's trees all around the bridge, and you get like a cut-in as you go over the bridge. And there's obviously a brook running underneath the bridge. It's all very beautiful, but it needs quite a tight crop when you shoot this. So I'm going to set up the camera and try and have a go at this one with different focal distances and different lens choices to see what difference it makes. But this is really going to be the only place I'm going to stop. I'll try and boost the exposure a little bit so you can see the composition better when I'm taking the photos. Hopefully this will work out, but this is what I want to do. So I'm going to set the camera up first and we'll get started. So I've got the shot set up at the moment at 14mm, and you can just about make out the bridge in that shot. It's very dark and very moody, but it's also very light where I'm standing, so there's quite a lot of contrast. But at the moment I'm just not shooting it at the moment, because at the brook that runs underneath that bridge there's a lady stood there with her dog, and he's in the water splashing around. I don't want to take a photo of them two while they're in the shot, so hopefully they'll move on in just a few seconds and I'll be able to take the shot, and then I'll show you the shot on the back of the camera. But yeah, basically you'll notice from this shot that I'm about to take at 14mm it is very, very wide open, and there's a lot in the scene. You can just about make out the bridge itself in the scene, and then you've got all the trees all around and all the light dappling through the various trees in different spots. But really you can't really make out the bridge itself in this image because it's just too far away at 14mm. So I'll take the shot in just a second. I'll show you that shot. I'll show you the picture on the back of the camera as well, so you can see exactly what I'm looking at. And then I'll move on and change the focal distance from 14mm to 35mm. I'm currently shooting with the 14 to 35mm lens, and obviously 14 is the widest it will go, and then 35 is the narrowest it will go. So hopefully at 35mm you get a much better image of that particular bridge. But for now I'm going to try and take the photo and show you the back of the camera. So here is the back of the camera. I don't know how well you can see that in this light, but obviously you can see from the composition itself that we've got quite a lot of light here in the foreground, and you can't really see the bridge in the distance at all. And then we've also got a lot of this foliage around the top end of the scene itself, and that's all very, very green obviously. And then where the bridge is right in the middle of the image, it's very, very dark. At the moment that lady's still down there with her dog, so I've taken the image with her in it, but hopefully I'll still be able to show you the difference between the different images. I'll put this image on screen now with the lady and her dog in it, and then I'm going to switch the lens to 35mm and take the shot again and see if we can see any difference there. So hopefully now you can see the image slightly better at 35mm, and you might just about now be able to make out the bridge right in the middle of the scene here, where it starts to get much lighter just in front of all these trees here. Now I think that kind of works a little bit better, but still the scene is too busy because we've got so much compressed into the scene itself at 35mm. So even at 14 and 35mm, this composition is probably the wrong composition for this particular shot. So now I'm going to show you those two images together on screen, and then whilst you're looking at those, I'm going to switch the lenses over to the 24 to 105 and then zoom in a little bit further than 35 after that. as you'll see now, I've got the 24 to 105mm lens on the camera, and I've set that, I think I can probably show you, to 70mm. Don't know how well you can see that. I think I can just about show you there, yep. I've set that to 70mm, so I'm zoomed out now to 70mm, which is a lot further out than the previous 14 and 35 that we had. So I'm going to try and show you what that looks like on the back screen. And as you can see there, we're much closer into the bridge now. You get a better view of the bridge right here. And obviously we've lost some of the composition around it, some of the trees and all of the lights and everything else that was all around it. And now we've just got that concentrated light right by the bridge itself. And that little bit of dappled light just in front of the scene. But obviously, I think that's still too far away. I think at 70mm, we're still not zoomed in far enough. I'll show you that image on the screen, but also then I'm going to zoom out to 105mm. Sorry, zoom into 105mm and see how that looks on the back of the camera once I've done that. But for now, take a look at this image and let me know what you think of it. So now you can see at 105mm, you get a better view of the bridge in the centre of the image, just here, and just to the left of that you can see the lady in the image as well now, who's still stood there messing around with her dog in this little brook. But obviously I've taken that photo. We're much closer now to the bridge, but I still don't think at this point that this is the best composition because of all the other stuff that's going on around the bridge itself. I think getting even closer still will make this a much better composition. I'll show the image now, and then I'm going to switch out the lens from the 24 to 105 to the 100 to 400mm lens and see if I can get a little bit closer and see where the point is where I prefer the composition of this bridge. So I'll do that now. You take a look at this image. You'll notice that we're at 200mm and it's obviously a much better composition of that particular scene. You can see now the bridge itself is very central to the image, but it works very well because we've now cropped out all of the other busy stuff around the shot itself. And I think now I'm getting a little bit closer to what I think is the ideal crop and the ideal composition for this particular photo. At the very start of it, we weren't getting close enough to the image to make that bridge be the most prominent thing featuring the image. And to be honest, it was that was my chosen subject today, the bridge itself. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to now zoom in now on this lens to about possibly 300mm. I think that might be absolutely perfect. So it's going to be a bit trial and error just to make sure I get exactly the right composition. But you'll see with the next composition that I'm very much tight in on the bridge, and that's probably going to be my favourite shot, although I quite like this one as it is now without Mrs. Dog Walker in the way. So what I'm going to do, like I said, I'm going to zoom out a little way now, zoom in a little way now to about 300mm I think, and see if that works, and then I'll show you that image as well. So now you'll see that we are actually at 300mm, and I think that this is pretty much the perfect composition now. On the back of the camera there you can see exactly what I've got. Now I've put the bridge kind of on the right hand side of the image and leading towards the centre and the top of the image, and I think that looks really nice. You've got a little bit of the ground just in front of the bridge itself and a little bit of the background just behind it, and you can see a little bit of dappled light in the background behind the bridge just here, and I quite like that as well, and you can see all the colour coming through as well now and everything. So I really like that image. I don't think I can do any better than that 300mm, but of course I could have gone and stood a little bit closer to the bridge and taken a few more photos at say 100mm or at 70mm or whatever, and try and get a much better composition of the bridge from closer to the bridge itself. I don't think that really matters too much, because the fact is I've kind of demonstrated the difference between the different lenses, and that was what the idea of today's vlog was about. So I hope that's helped you. I hope you enjoyed that. Like I say, I like this image. I'm going to actually zoom in again now to 400mm and see if that is any better. I don't think it will be, but I'm going to show you both of those images on the screen now, and let me know which you prefer out of the 300mm and the 400mm. And if you like any of the others, also let me know and give me a comment and tell me what you think of those. But in the meantime, I'm going to take this shot at 400mm. So there we can see now at 400mm, we've probably slightly too close into the bridge now. Obviously, I think myself that the 300mm image was the better image, and like I said earlier, I could have stood quite a lot closer to the bridge to try and get a much better composition anyway. But I think this image here at 400mm, we're just losing slightly too much of the foreground and the background to make it work perfectly, although it's pretty close to what I wanted. I do prefer the 300mm, like I said, but you let me know in the comments what you think. In the meantime, I think that's about it, and I hope this has been helpful to you. If this vlog has been of any use to you, please give it a thumbs up. Also, please comment and let me know what part of the vlog you preferred the most, which of the images you preferred, and let me know what you think of the difference between the different focal distances and how that affects the composition. In the meantime, if you have enjoyed the vlog, like I said, give it a thumbs up, and also please remember to subscribe to the channel, and I look forward to seeing you again on another vlog very soon. Bye for now.